We have another award tonight that we're very proud to present, and I'd like to introduce what the award is and then ask Elaine Ogburn to come forward. And it is the Art of Listening Award. We put an even greater premium on listening at the Genetic Alliance these days. And it becomes even more essential to us as our community widens and as we bring in disparate voices. And as we listen to voices with whom we may not agree, but who must be present inside this dialogue. And the Art of Listening Award celebrates a healthcare professional who goes beyond what is required, takes the time to listen and understand, contributing a vast amount to advancing understanding of the disease so that both treatment and research are accelerated. The nominator must give concrete examples of the professional's capacity to listen and serve the family suffering with the condition he or she treats. I'd like to ask Elaine Ogburn to come up and give our awardee the Art of Listening Award.
Good evening, everybody. It's a real pleasure for me to be here on this very special occasion. I'm here as a parent, faculty member of the Virginia Leadership Education in Neurodevelopmental Disabilities Program, Virginia LEND, of which Dr. Joann Bodurtha is the director. I'm sure I don't need to introduce Joann to you, those of you here in this room. She's been a geneticist and a pediatric physician for many years, and many of you have undoubtedly had the opportunity to get to know her, or at least to know of her, through a wide variety of professional networks and collaborations. I've been asked by the Genetic Alliance to speak about why Joann Bodurtha is the best choice for the Art of Listening Award. In the spirit of full disclosure, I have to admit that I can't possibly do that because I have no idea who the other nominees were or what their qualifications might have been. I don't know the other nominees, but I do know Joann Bodurtha. And I'm here to commend the Genetic Alliance for recognizing that Joann has rightly earned and richly deserves the honor and distinction of being named the Art of Listening Award recipient. Now, I didn't nominate her because of her national reputation, all of which you can read on page 17 of your conference booklet, or her numerous honors, or the great assortment of hats she wears, or even because she's my boss. I nominated Joann for the Art of Listening Award for one simple reason, and that's because whenever she listens, real people's lives change for the better. I've seen this life-changing listening at work at Virginia LEND for the last 9 years. In clinical classroom and one-to-one interactions, Joann consistently models caring, receptive, family-centered professional relationships with everyone, from colleagues and students to the youngest clinic client to my own daughter, who is a teenager with Down syndrome and who's known Joann for just about all of her life. Joann listens beyond the words, and she sees beyond the immediate, and her kind and strong compassion help others to listen, see, and move forward on their own paths. The structure and the process of the Virginia LEND program itself reflect the effects of Joann's listening and openness. The program has not one, but 2 family discipline faculty members, includes a family mentorship component, involves self-advocates and family members in classes and consultation, and has just accepted its first family discipline trainee, the parent of a child with a disability, who will participate in the full curriculum along with trainees from diverse professions in health and special education. For the many concrete ways in which Virginia LEND embodies family-centered values and practice, much of the credit is due to Joann Bodurtha, both for her vision and for her openness to the ideas of professionals and families alike. But equally compelling is the extent to which Richmond families beyond Virginia LEND cherish Joann Bodurtha and how passionately they feel about her. When I began working on her nomination, I found that families were absolutely thrilled with the opportunity to write about their beloved Dr. B. I actually had to phone the Genetic Alliance to request permission to submit more than the stipulated maximum of 3 letters of support. And I'm going to close with excerpts from 2 of those powerful and impassioned family letters. One family wrote about Joann. She was the first person who didn't look at us with pity or say, "I'm sorry." We will always be so thankful to Dr. Bodurtha for helping to ease us out of the sadness of those days and for giving us hope for the future. She will always hold a special place in our hearts. And then another family kind of summed it all up. We recommend Dr. Joann Bodurtha for the Art of Listening Award. Her character is above reproach. Her skills are exemplary. And her ability to listen understandably and compassionately is unequaled. I second those remarks, and I present to you as a role model in the art of listening, Dr. Joann Bodurtha.
Thank you so much for this wonderful honor and for sharing in the evening. Thank you to our husbands, Tom, for being here and for many years of listening to us. This year's conference, the celebration of Gina, the collaborative work of those here and those not here, and the leadership of the Genetic Alliance all speak to the importance of empathy and listening. Have you ever learned something you didn't expect through careful listening? Have you gotten to the heart of the matter more effectively or with more grace by listening? A physician colleague told me of his student time when he shadowed a senior clinician. One day, tearful parents brought a clearly challenged small infant into the office. The student was asked to stay in the waiting room. The parents emerged smiling 15 minutes later. The child in the blanket appeared less tense. After the family left, the student asked, "That was amazing. I got to know what you said to them." The physician answered, "I was quiet. I practiced SQAL. I shut up and listened." I have had to learn SQAL as I am not genetically a listener. My genetic instinct is to talk. 2 decades ago, the genetic counselors with whom I worked made me a t-shirt that said, "Can I make a suggestion?" Families, students, colleagues have all taught me to be a better listener. As Albert Einstein wrote, if A equals success, then the formula is A equals X plus Y and Z, with X being work, Y play, and Z keeping your mouth shut. About 6 years ago, Becky, Elaine's daughter, a young woman with Down syndrome, was part of a training grant Halloween party at our house. Just before pumpkin carving, Becky asked us all to be quiet, and she brought out the children's story, It Didn't Frighten Me, by Janet Goss and Jerome Horst. Children, young and old, sat quietly and listened as Becky demonstrated her reading progress, crowd control, and the empowerment of having others listen to you. Every single one of us wants to be heard, however varied our voices, difficult our stories, or joyous our discoveries. We can never fully walk in another's shoes, but I have been taught that it is the trying that counts. Awards are really about emphasizing our aspirations, not resting, for there is more work to be done. Paul Tillich wrote, "The first duty of love is to listen." As we learn more and more about the human genome, how can we learn better to listen to that which connects us with justice and compassion? I'll finish with my own genetic predisposition. I'll make a suggestion. Don't forget to listen. Listen to your neighbor, your patient, your co-worker, your aspiring candidate, your family, and maybe even some people you typically don't hear. Thank you for listening.
It might interest you to know that Joann's award says, "Thank you for truly listening with your heart and mind. Your compassion heals us."